and welcome to our Monday morning yoga. This morning we're talking about our sacral chakra, which is the second of the 7 chakras. It is located just below the navel, and it's right in the center of your lower belly. And it's also associated with the color orange. So the sacral chakra is the center of all your emotions, all your feelings, and stimulates pleasure. It plays an active role in sexuality and expression of our sexual needs and desires. I'll be putting up some more information in regards to the sacral chakra, so please feel free to have a read after your yoga practice if you'd like. So we'll get going. This morning class is all associated with the sacral chakra. So come down and sit into your easy seat. We will just come to our breath. Excuse me if there's any noises around. I do apologize. It is pretty quiet at the moment. So sitting into our easy seat, as I said, coming up nice and tall, sitting on both your sit bones, and just bringing ourselves into center, breathing in and out of our belly. One more, breathing in and breathing out. Bring your hands to our sides, sitting up nice and tall, breathing in, bringing our hands up, hands to touch. And as we breathe out, bringing our hands to heart center. 2 more of these, bringing your hands up and over, bringing our hands to touch. Breathing out, hands to heart center. 1 more. Bring your hands up and over, breathing in. And breathing out, hands to heart center. Bringing our hands down, staying in our easy seat. Our first twist is our cross leg twist. So we'll bring our right hand behind. Left hand will come onto our right knee. We'll lift up. Take a breath in. And breathe out as we twist over to the right hand side. Breathing in. Feeling your belly. In and out. Next breath in brings you back to center, and then we'll go the other side. Left hand comes behind, right hand on your left knee, lifting up. Take a breath in, and then twisting over to your left hand side. Coming back to center. Cross leg forward fold, so bringing our hands forward, we're walking forward as far as you can. Bringing our hands forward, keeping your sit bones on your mat, try not to lift up too far. And then folding down, letting your head hang. Keep your breath nice and fluid. Breathing in and out of our belly. And then lifting up, walking your hands back. Now bringing our legs forward. Dorsiflexing your feet. Bringing breathing in, bringing our hands up. And as we breathe out, we fold over our legs, bringing your hands forward as far as they will reach. That could be on your ankles or on your shins, or you can reach all the way forward and grab the hold of the bottom of your feet. One more breath here. And as we breathe out, we come up. Alright, from here we'll meet in our tabletop. So coming over onto your hands and knees. Bring our hands under our shoulders. Knees are on the hips. We'll just do a few rounds of our cat-cow. So as we breathe in, lift our gaze, we drop our belly. And as we breathe out, we curve our spine, we push away from our hands. Breathing in, looking up, dropping our belly. Breathing out, curving our spine and pushing away. Just a couple more in your own time. Make this your last one, and meeting back in tabletop. We'll bring our hands forward as far as you can reach into our extended puppy dog pose. And then we'll come down, bringing our chin onto the mat, or if you'd like, coming down onto your forehead, stretching out our shoulders. Breathing in and out, feeling the rise and fall of our belly. And then coming up nice and slow, bringing your hands back into our tabletop. And then this time we'll come up and sit on our heels. Come up onto our knees. Keep your knees hip width apart. We're going into our easy camel. So bringing our hands at the back onto our lower back, beg your pardon. Open up your shoulders. Keep your knees, like I said, hip width apart. And we can just, as we breathe in, we come back just slightly into our easy camel. Bringing your shoulders back. Opening up our chest. And grounding through our knees. Next breath in brings us up to center. And we'll do one more of these. Mini back bend. Making sure we don't go too deep as yet, as you're still warming up. Breathing in, coming back. Sit on our knees. And coming down to our child's pose. Bringing your knees together, toes to touch, and bringing your forehead all the way to the mat. One more breath. And then coming up, lifting up. Excuse me. And then coming into our tabletop, and from our tabletop we'll lift up and come into our first down dog. Keeping your fingers nice and spread out. We'll walk out dog, 1 foot at a time. And then coming into stillness, dropping your shoulders. One clearing breath here in our down dog. And then we'll walk slowly up to the top of the mat. Walking all the way into our forward fold. And then slowly we'll rise up. Coming all the way up. Nice and slow. Shoulders come back. Into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. We'll begin with our first clearing. So I'll come this way so you can see. Bringing our feet hip width apart, bending our knees just slightly. Bringing your toes nice and wide. And just feeling all four corners of your feet grounding on the mat. As we breathe in, hands come up, nice and slow. Pinkies to face each other. Take a breath in. And as we start breathing out, we start lowering our hands, scanning our body, letting go of any negative thoughts, negative feelings, or just simply letting go of anything that doesn't serve us any longer. Keep it going all the way down, past all of our chakras, including our sacral chakra, and then coming back into our Tadasana. One more time, breathing in, bringing our hands up. This time I'd like you to imagine a big ball of orange light in between your hands, representing our sacral chakra. Take a deep breath in. And as we start exhaling, bringing our hands down one more time as we did earlier. But this time, we'll bring in love and light, positive energies, beautiful feelings and emotions, happiness, and bringing our hands back down. Just taking a couple of moments here to ground. And then we'll start with our sun salutes. So staying at the top of your mat, feet are hip width apart. Going to breathe in, bring our hands up, hands to touch. It's a mini back bend first. And then coming up nice and slow. Dropping your shoulders. Take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we fold forward. Coming all the way down. Come up to halfway lift. You can come up to your fingers, or you can come up and bring your hands to your shins. Palms come down, and then we'll step it back one leg at a time, coming into your plank, coming down to your knees. Untuck your toes, take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we start lowering our body all the way down to the mat, keeping your elbows close to your body, coming all the way down to the mat. Your feet are flat, toes to touch. And as we breathe in, we come up into our baby cobra. And then come back down. One more time. Breathing in, coming up. And then back down. And then we lift up, nice and slow, and come into our down dog. One clearing breath in our down dog. And as we start walking up to the top of the mat, we stay in our forward fold. This time we'll come up into our reverse swan dive, so coming up, bending your knees, bringing your hands up, hands to touch. Take a breath in. And swan dive forward, keeping your back nice and flat, coming all the way down, forward fold. Halfway lift. Palms come down. Step it back. One leg at a time. Coming down to your knees. Breath in. And then we'll lower back down to our mat. Your feet are flat, your toes are touching. Coming to our baby cobra, or you can come straight into your full cobra depending on how your back's feeling. So baby cobra or full cobra. Keeping your gaze in front of your mat. One more breath here. And back down. And then we lift up and meet in our down dog. Couple of clearing breaths here in our down dog before we start our flow. And then we raise our right leg, coming into three-legged dog. Taking a breath in. And as we breathe out, we bring our knee to nose. Breathing in, bringing our leg back up. This time we go knee to right elbow. Breathing in, coming up. And then our knee comes to our left elbow. Breathing in, three-legged dog. And as we breathe out, bringing our knee to nose this time, but we bring our right leg all the way forward into our low lunge. From our low lunge, we'll come up straight into our high lunge, bringing our hands up, bending your front knee, making sure it does not track over our toes, and just slightly pushing your knee outwards towards your pinky toe. Your back leg is straight, and we're dropping our shoulders. From here, we'll go into our warrior two. One more breath here first. And we'll flip it over into our warrior two, bringing your back foot into 180 degree. Our front knee is bent, and we'll bring our hands up into warrior two. We'll turn our head, look past our middle finger. And then from here we'll bring our elbow down to our knee, and then bring our hand up and over into our side angle pose. If you feel comfortable to do so, you can look up towards your hand, keeping your back leg straight and your front knee is bent. And then coming up into our warrior two. And from here we'll go straight into our Trikonasana, our triangle pose. So we'll bring our front knee straight, take the bend out, we'll come forward hinging at our hip, flip our hands over, and then we bring our right hand comes down, left hand comes up into our Trikonasana triangle pose. Looking up towards your left hand if you feel comfortable to do so. If not, you can keep your gaze onto the ground to keep your balance. Slowly we come back into our warrior two. Then we bring our hands to our hips. Take a couple of steps up to bring ourselves back into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. And from here we'll go into our easy dancer. So we'll bring a little bend into our right knee. Left knee comes up. We'll grab a hold of our ankle. Bring your knees to touch, and then we'll bring our right hand up into our easy dancer. I'll come forward so you can see, so bending our front knee, bending our left leg, grabbing the hold of our ankle, and then we'll bring our right hand up into our easy dancer. A few breaths here. Keeping your balance. If you fall out, no matter, just come back up. And then bringing our hand back down, letting go of our left leg, and we'll step it out. Bringing some movement into both legs. Leaning back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart. Breathing in as we bring our hands up, hands to touch. Forward fold. Halfway left. Palms come down. This time you can step, hop or jump back into your plank. So we can step the way that we did before, or you can jump it all the way back into your plank. This time we're going to stay on our toes, but if you like you can come down to your knees and do it as we did earlier. This time I'm going to stay on my toes. For those of you who are following with me, coming forward over our shoulders, taking a breath in here, and then we're going to lower our whole body down to the mat, bringing your elbows close to your body. Your chest touches down first, coming all the way down, our toes to touch. This time we're going to breathe in, come up either into our baby cobra, full cobra, or if you'd like you can come with me into our up dog. Our up dog, you come up on your top of your feet, and And with up dog, we're actually looking up. One more breath here. And as we breathe out, coming back down. And lifting up, back into our down dog. We'll come into our wide-legged child's pose, just to bring our breath back, sinking into your heels, having your knees as wide as your mat, and your toes to touch. Bringing your hands above your head, and just have both hands, both arms resting on your mat. One more breath. And then coming up, back into our tabletop, bringing your knees in. And then we meet in our down dog. Flip our toes and lift up, back into our down dog. Three-legged dog on the other side, left leg comes up. Taking a breath in. And then we breathe out as we bring our knee to nose. Lifting up. Breathing out. Knee to left elbow. Breathing in. And then one more. Knee to right elbow. Twisting over to the side. Breathing in. Bringing your leg back up. Three-legged dog. Taking a breath in here. Bringing your knee close to your nose. We're going to flip our left foot all the way forward into our low lunge. I'm in quite a wide stance. I'm going to bring my back foot closer a little. From here we'll go straight into our high lunge. Sinking our front leg forward, back leg is straight. Same as before, making sure your knee isn't trekking over your toes. Dropping our shoulders. And just a couple of breaths here. We're opening up to the other side, coming into our warrior two on the other side. Our back leg is in 180. Front knee is bent. Hands come up parallel, and we look over our little finger. Side angle on this side, so our elbow comes down to knee. Right hand comes up and over, pointing forward. And again, if you'd like, you can just look up towards your right hand. We don't want to be leaning too far into our shoulder. We're just merely placing our elbows softly on our knee, just for balance. Coming back into warrior two. Straight into our Trikonasana triangle pose, straightening our left foot this time, hinging forward from our hip, turning our palms forward, and then our left hand comes down, right hand comes up, and our hand should be one line of energy. Coming back into warrior two. Hands on hips. A couple of steps forward. Coming into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Easy dancer on the other side. So I'll look forward, so bringing a mini bend into your left leg this time. Right leg comes up, grabbing the hold of our ankle, bringing our knees together. And then when you have your balance, we'll lift up our left hand comes up into our easy dancer. Few breaths here. And then bringing our hand down, letting go of our leg, shaking it out. And we move back in our Tadasana. Breathing in, bringing our hands to touch. Forward fold. Halfway left. Palms come down. We'll step it back this time into our plank. You can stay on your toes with me or come down to your knees. If you're on your toes, coming forward over your shoulders. Taking a breath in. And then we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Coming into our Sphinx pose. So as we're laying down, we can bring our hands forward, but keeping our elbows into our parallel position here. And we'll lift up, bringing our toes to touch, our feet are flat. Breathing in into our Sphinx pose, so keeping your gaze just in front of your mat. One more breath. And then we'll lower back down, bringing our hands under our chin. Bringing your feet as wide as your mat. And just letting your heels flop into the middle of your mat. Keeping the chin on your hand. And then bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, bring your toes to touch, lifting up, and then sinking it back into our child's pose. Keep your knees together and just sink back to sit on your heels. This time, if you'd like, you can bring your hands beside you. Bringing yourself into a little cocoon. And we'll stay here for 5 deep breaths. If your hands are behind you, bringing your hands forward, lifting up, coming into our tabletop. we will sink back into our knees again. Lift our coming into our knees. We're going into our easy camel one more time. So bringing your knees hip width apart. Hands come in your lower back. And we come into easy back bend, opening up your shoulders, bringing your elbows close together into our easy camel. Coming back up when you're ready. Now I'll give you a couple more options with your camel. We can either keep our hands on our lower back and come into a mini back bend, or you can bring your right hand onto your right heel and then lift your right hand up and open up this way, and then the other way. Or you can come into a full camel, bringing your knees hip width apart, and then you can bring both of your hands onto your heels, and we open up into our camel pose. Come into whatever serves you this morning, either your hands on your back, one hand on either heel and the other hand up. Or we can bring both of our hands onto our heel and opening up, letting your head drop. Choose whatever pose serves you this morning. And then coming back onto our knees, coming to sit onto our heels, and we'll come back down into our child's pose just to counteract our camel. So coming back down, bringing your forehead to the mat, bringing your hands above you this time, just for that nice stretch, and bringing your back into a neutral. Coming up, and then we'll flip our feet over to the side, come to sit on our mat, shuffle yourself forward into a seat, bringing your feet up, dorsiflexing your toes. We'll do our forward fold, so bringing your hands up, breathing in, and then as we breathe out, we fold forward. Your hands are either on your shins, around your ankles, or all the way grabbing the bottom of your feet. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to as we fold forward. Next breath in brings you all the way up. And then we'll continue all the way down to our back. Coming all the way down. We'll bring our knees up. And then bring your knees into your chest. You can bring our knees into slight little circles. Just a couple going one way and then the other. Coming into stillness. Bringing your feet down to your mat. Bring your hands out to a T. sliding your hips slightly over to the right hand side, and then we drop both of our knees over to the left as we look over to the right, keeping both of your shoulders on your mat, so shuffling over. Bringing your head back to neutral. Bring your knees back up to center. Coming back into our neutral position. And then bringing your hips slightly over to the left. Dropping your knees over to the right. And then looking over to your left hand side. Just breathing mindfully, feeling into this twist. And then bringing your head back to center. Bringing your knees up, square yourself back to neutral. Bring your knees into your chest, but this time bring your forehead all the way to your knees, giving yourself a cosmic hug. If you'd like, you can really hug into your legs and bringing your forehead to your knees. Letting go, bringing your head back down. This time, feet are to touch, and then bringing your knees out as wide as your mat. Into our butterfly pose, keeping your head in a neutral. I'd like you to bring one hand over to your sacral chakra, which is just below the navel, on your lower belly, and one hand can come to your heart center. Breathing into your belly. Feeling your belly rise and fall with air. Feeling your heartbeat. And just thanking your body this morning. Being grateful, full of gratitude for your body moving this morning. Moving your body, coming back to your breath. And then gently ease your legs up to touch. Bring your legs down to your mat. Bring them as wide as your mat. Coming into our final resting pose, into our Shavasana. So bring your feet as wide as your mat. You can open up your palms. Have your head in a neutral position. Excuse me. Just finishing off and enjoying some stillness. Taking as much time as you need to in your Savasana. Thank you for joining me on the mat this morning. I hope you enjoyed the class. Hope you have a wonderful Monday. Namaste.